So last night we celebrated the 2021 Bill Wheeler Symposium online, held in honour of Bill Wheeler, who was a very active member of the Illawarra community. He took a keen interest in new bionics research at the University of Wollongong. Each year at the event, a Bill Wheeler Award is presented to a University of Wollongong student who best communicates the social impact of their research and how it will benefit their work. So with that said, today I'm joined by this year's winner, for a conversation, UOW biofabrication PhD candidate and ACES affiliate, Jeremy Noro. Jeremy, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Sam.
For a little bit of background, I'm just wondering if you could tell the listeners or the watchers out there a bit about your PhD.
So my PhD is based at IPRI, the Intelligent Polymer Research Institute at Wollongong Uni's Innovation Campus, and also at TRICEP, a Translational Research Institute spun off from IPRI. I also work with Anatomics, which is a medical devices company down in Melbourne, to develop new ways of treating bone defects. So currently, the way we treat bone defects doesn't accurately replicate the function of the missing bone. And through 3D printing, we can not only make individualized implants that match the native properties of bone, like the high porosity, strength, and flexibility, but we can also have it so it matches the contours of the area. So to simplify it, I basically turned a laser engraver into a powder-based 3D printer. So the laser draws patterns throughout the powder bed. It's made of biocompatible material powder, and it fuses the materials together. A roller adds another layer on top, and then the process is continued, and it fuses to the previous layer and all the adjacent particles around it. And then the 3D part is made. The parts can be designed from a patient's 3D scans like MRI, CTs, X-rays, and we can generate a patient-specific implant that matches exactly where the part of the bone is missing, but also the density and the physical properties, so we can get different rigidities and compressive strengths and flexibilities, and yeah, it could potentially be the future of how we treat bone defects.
Fascinating. So as I mentioned, you're this year's winner of the Bill Wheeler Award. Just wanted to firstly ask your reaction to hearing the news that you were going to be the winner.
It was instant gratitude from the support of the community to the recognition that it gave me. And sometimes it's difficult in science or in really any line of work to realize the impact that your work can have on society. And awards like this just acknowledge that in a realistic context that it can actually help.
Yeah, so I mean, there's been previous winners. This dates back to the early 2000s, I think 2009 or so, that have won this award, and they've gone and said how much it meant to them. I'm wondering how much it meant to you winning the award.
It just comes down to hope. It motivates me to keep pushing into the unknown, so we can continue to innovate and progress as a society. And as Associate Professor Bruce Ashford said yesterday, pressure is a privilege. So it's just added that little bit of pressure just to strive to just be a little bit better. And that's what this award has done and given me.
Yeah, so with the award comes $2,000 worth of community raised funding supported by the Kiama Rotary Club. Wondering what your plans are to do with the funding. I know it's just been awarded to you, it's quite fresh, and things might change over time, but yeah, I'm wondering if you could speak on that a little bit. Because
it's a community award, I think that the scientific community as a whole comes together to contribute what they do. So I'm going to put that money directly back into registrations for virtual conferences. Unfortunately, I can't physically go to conferences, but the registrations do cost money, as you know. And also scientific society memberships. So every year you can become a part of a scientific society which has conferences, which has different types of meetings where you can contribute to the community, both here in Australia and abroad internationally. The award will also go directly into finishing this bone 3D printer, so I can push the medicine forward, because it's not an individual effort that gets us there, but it's the contributions of scientists, engineers, clinicians, and patients, as well as those like yourself, Sam, who put in the work to provide a platform to share and communicate this work to a broader audience. It's a community effort.
Yeah, well said, well said. And looking forward to hearing how the next year goes. And I'm sure you'll be able to update us at next year's Bill Wheeler Symposium on what you've done with the funding. So I'm looking forward to that come this time next year. Just lastly, I wanted to ask you about the last year, I guess, a little bit in terms of the world going into a bit of a virtual space. I mean, last night's symposium, for example, was held online. How have you, as a researcher, sort of adapted to this? And I mean, you've obviously had to present online rather than in person, and obviously research is a little bit more difficult. As a PhD student, how have you found that?
It's definitely different, and it's obviously change is discomforting, but adapting is the key to progress as an individual, to progress professionally, and to progress in life. We adapt and we become better.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to have a chat. And look, congratulations on winning the 2021 Bill Wheeler Award. It's well deserved.
Thanks to the Kiama Rotary Club. Thanks to you, Sam. Thanks to ACES. Thanks to everyone that supported me, and appreciate the time.